Hello, and welcome to Israeli Frenemies, the only news show co-hosted and co-presented by two activists from opposing political views. I'm Golan, representing the Israeli right.
And I'm Uri Zaki, representing the Israeli left. We may be from the same country, but we don't share the same views. So, get ready to find out why. Since coming into office, U.S. President Donald Trump has waged a full-front attack on mainstream American media. Not a day goes by without careless attacks on media outlets and specific journalists who dare to criticize him or publishing findings about him and his administration that he doesn't like. Trump, who rode into the Oval Office on a wave of numerous fake news outlets which exposed this new phenomena to the world, keeps using this term, fake news, usually followed by 3 or more exclamation marks, against proven and well-investigated facts from distinguished media outlets such as CNN, New York Times, and the Washington Post. Across the ocean and sea here in Israel, Trump can learn a lot from Prime Minister Netanyahu. Since entering into politics more than 20 years ago, Mr. Netanyahu has also waged an attack on the what he calls lefty media, accusing it as a whole for pursuing him. In fact, Netanyahu enjoys unprecedented positive coverage and alleged control over the most read newspaper in Israel, which is owned by his biggest donor and supporter, Sheldon Adelson, and many key journalists in the Israeli media are from the right. Nonetheless, since Trump's election, it seems that Netanyahu has dropped all limits when it comes to his desire to attack, weaken, and control the media. On the one hand, recently, he adopted a Trump-style comments to any report which he doesn't like, accusing and targeting personally the journalists who reported it. In parallel, he is promoting legislation which will enable him to personally control and supervise all TV and radio in Israel through dangerous legislation. A free, investigative, and critical media is the basis for a democracy. It is the obstacle between our government getting absolute power and corruption. Both in Israel and in the United States, all of us who cherish our democracies, regardless of our ideological or partisan affiliations, should stand up and protect free media, which protects us all.
Hardcore politics, security issues, and the so-called human rights alt-left often dominate the news here in Israel. So preoccupied with these issues, we often forget about everything else. For me, this week was a harsh reminder to how we, the powerful humans, forgot all about the helpless animals as illegal, barbaric slaughters blooded our streets and broke the hearts of those of us who care. For too long, we've allowed the alt-left to own animal rights as a part of their so-called agenda, while under their watch, animal cruelty continues to rise, proving that they can't be trusted. I mean, when they neglect the human rights of Jewish residents of South Tel Aviv, are we really surprised that we can't trust them with animal rights? The fact is, animal rights don't just belong to the liberal left, nor do environmental issues, women's rights, asylum seekers, refugees, or anything else they pretend to represent. When they use these issues to raise hundreds of millions of shekels, it's only right to demand they do better. But to be fair, we on the right must get involved. When I founded the Hebrew City nonprofit, I felt it was my duty as a social activist to include animal rights in my agenda, despite the many other human issues I already represent. So while our right-wing politicians may have forgotten, we need to remind them. Social activists like myself, together with our youth groups on the right, must take back ownership of issues monopolized by the alt-left for too long. We owe it to our Creator to take care and preserve all of the creations. Anything else is pure neglect. It's not all about politics.
So it finally came. President Trump called the president of the Palestinians, Mahmoud Abbas, this week. We also have this week the special envoy of President Trump, discussing limitation on building in settlements and how to renew the peace process. And I think, if I were, the right saw Trump as this big messiah, and after all, he is now, and that settlements can be built with no limitations, and he's actually continuing what all former presidents did, understanding that in order to get to a peace deal, first you need to have the Palestinians as a partner, and second, you must limit building of settlements.
I understand that the left groups are very excited and thrilled about this alleged phone call. Not alleged, but phone call.
It actually happened.
Yeah, it actually happened.
Fake news.
You have enough fake news without this. But, I don't get the excitement. President Trump is the leader of the U.S. He is the most influential leader, I think, in the world.
Sure.
And him picking
apart
up...
from Putin.
You said that. But him picking up the phone to our so-called peace partner is not surprising. He needs to do it. It's part of his job. I'm not, not me, and definitely not the right-wing groups are mad about it. We all anticipated it.
You can't, because he's your messiah.
No. Wait, he's your messiah, maybe. You
I don't have messiahs.
You keep calling him idol.
Messiah hasn't arrived yet.
Messiah.
That's the basic of Judaism.
That we have the only people that the only creations that I personally obey to is God. And for me, Donald Trump is a very honorable. I don't know why you
very
disrespect
close to that
him.
level.
I don't know why you disrespect him with all these things. But it's not. This is not how the right-wing groups see him.
Okay, I do respect.
But just in a sentence, I just want to tell you that. We anticipated it. We're not excited or nervous by it, me saying the right-wing groups. And I don't think it's an indication of anything besides politeness by our new president.
I don't think it's politeness. I think this week he also told the Saudi Arabian representative that he's very
Did you hear what the Saudi Arabian representative said back to him?
I don't know what you're referring to.
He agreed with his ban. He agreed that Trump
Yeah, but that doesn't have to do with
Muslims.
Israel-Palestine. Hold on.
This is back and forth.
Hold on. He said, the president, I think, by the way, it's one of the only issues where he's consistent, that he wants to make the historic deal between Israel and the Palestinians.
I wish.
And, the settler leadership in Israel said they want to annex the West Bank on his guard, because he would give us a carte blanche to do that. And what we see now, that we have another US president who's committed to an Israeli-Palestinian peace deal. Unlike Obama, they can't attack him, right, for being anti-Israel, whatever.
What do you mean, can't attack him? He's the most anti-Israel president
that
we have ever seen.
Okay, so exactly what I'm saying, that the Israeli right-wing government can't attack Trump.
But no one is attacking Donald Trump.
But
no one is disappointed by it.
Soon you'll see a deal on the table saying that I'm President Trump, saying the 67 borders
you will never
with
see that. Listen,
modifications, take it or leave it. That's my deal that I'm suggesting.
Okay.
What would you do then?
There's no president of any country in the world right now that doesn't want to achieve peace between the Israelis and the so-called Palestinians.
Peace with compromises.
And it's not. Listen, we have peace with Egypt. We know what it means to achieve peace.
Right, 100% of the land has to be evacuated.
I can tell you that I'm all pro-peace, okay? I wish we will have to witness an era when we will have peace with our neighbors and won't have to get into wars and deaths and horrible things. But putting all this on a new president that is in admission in, 2 months already? 2.5 months? Hardly. He says what needs to be said. Every president before him...
You think he doesn't mean it?
And every president after him will say that
he
wants to achieve
he's just saying that?
No.
I actually believe him.
I think he wants to, but I believe he will never... No. I believe he will never impose anything on Israel that she doesn't want or is not prepared for.
You won't impose and say, I heard you, Mr. Abbas, I heard you, Mr. Netanyahu, you guys get 22% of the land, the Palestinians. You guys 78%, which is Israel. That's the 67 borders. Go take it or leave it.
I don't think so.
And I don't see Netanyahu or Bennett or Lieberman, all these honorable people who always accused, the former administration, having any ability to do anything.
Okay. Look, I don't think that Donald Trump is about to force any side, not us and not the other side.
We are in Holland here, not in Turkey, and a Turkish minister has no room here to lobby for somebody like Mr. Erdogan, who is a mere dictator. He's nothing else, and we will not help strengthening the dictatorship by lobbying for a referendum that gives this dictator only more power.
It's important to really stand together against right-wing powers, against hate.
Okay, so I have to say, I love Geert Wilders. I love him.
I can imagine.
I watched several videos of him, but
He's your Dutch model and very close to you. You could be the leader of that party.
I watched many videos of him, but one that I watched actually yesterday was very moving. He was talking about the 6 years he spent in Israel, living here.
6 years?
6 years he lived in Israel, and he said that he felt like it was a home to him. And, the things he said about Israel, it's not just because he loves Israel, but I really think that he is being abused by the alt-left media. And why am I saying this? Because what does the media do, the left media, when she wants to pin someone and ruin his good reputation? She marks him as an extreme right wing. That's what you do to me when we sit and talk here. You mark me as an extreme right wing.
And you're marking me as alt-left, which is a term that I don't even know.
But it's a very popular term. Well, you should
I know, but it was invented by the alt-right to describe themselves.
Somehow, when you call me alt-right, it's kind of
I know, exactly. That's a term that the American right, the American radical right called itself, and now you're saying alt-left, although nobody says that there is alt-left.
No, everyone said, but we'll get into this. I'll explain to you after what alt-left means. But Geert Wilders is exactly reminding me what Donald Trump has been going through, what even Benjamin Netanyahu has been going through here, what the entire issue with the Brexit in Europe has been going through, because they're pinning him as an extreme right wing when actually he gives his opinion and the objective of a big popular...
His opinion is racist.
No, he's not racist. He wants to protect and defend his country.
Has an opinion doesn't mean that it's not racist or neo-fascist or all that.
Wanting to protect your country from radical Muslims is not being a racist. Wanting to defend your country from terror attacks is not being racist. It's being real. And just another sentence.
No, come on.
You'll have time. I just want to tell you that this is a symptom that is going through all over Europe. And believe me, in the end, the right wing will rise. Because they can't handle illegal immigration
it is rising
occupying their souls and their culture and their land.
My problem with this sympathy that you represent here, and it is true that our government, which is also a radical right-wing government, is representing this sympathy.
I wish it was.
Sympathy towards
Bibi is radical right-wing?
The most neo-fascist forces in the world. Geert Wilders, this guy, is intimidating the Jewish community in Holland, of course. His parallels, I read what the Jewish community in those countries say. Hungary as well. No, the Jews, because they understand
I never heard of it.
That hatred towards Muslims is hatred towards the other, and they are part of the other.
He loves Israel.
It is not by mistake that those supporters of Trump, again, not talking about Trump himself, but his supporters are the same people who hate Jews over there. It's true that they like Israel.
A minority.
Because Israel, they see, we need to understand that part of us being the representatives of the Jewish people is not only whoever hates Arabs, whoever hates Muslims is our ally.
And for example,
These
you can say that I don't agree with Marine Le Pen, for instance.
Oh, you don't like her?
No, it's not that I don't like her, but don't make me to be, we're not monkeys. I'm not following anyone that's right-wing or, just pro against immigration and pro, saving your country. It's not that issue, Uli. For me, it's about someone who says the truth about his country. You have to admit.
I understand about Marine Le Pen. You think she's a good leader for France?
I don't think she's a good leader for France.
Okay, good. We have an understanding here. That's good.
You know what?
Good start.
I don't, because I think she has passed a limit that we shouldn't.
So there is this new debate, actually making a debate within the government, within the right-wing government. It's all started with Rabbi Yigal Levinstein, the spiritual and educational leader of the pre-military college of Eli.
Pre-academy, yeah.
An institution that actually educates young religious Zionists before joining the army. Many of them are in the top command of the Israeli military. Rabbi Levinstein went against, first of all, the LGBT community, and second, which made the headlines this week, was against women's service. And not only did he say that he's against women serving in the military, he said really obnoxious things. His style also very referring to women's sexuality, about women being hot and stuff like that, saying that a woman that gets into the military would come out of it as a non-Jew. And we're talking about the Israeli Defense Forces. I don't know. I hope we'll be in agreement on this, that this should not be done.
We are. Don't you worry about it. We are in agreement because things like that are just hard for the ear to hear. But, you know, I just want to point out something. Look, I agree, because we're a democracy and there is free opinion and speech for everyone here. I can understand the rabbi doesn't want religious girls to join the army. I don't agree with it, but I can understand it.
Me too.
I can also understand his, you know, opinion of not accepting gays and lesbians, although it doesn't connect to the reality. But I can understand his point of view from the Torah perspective. But the thing that hurts me the most in his things was when he said that when a woman goes into the army, she starts off as a Jew, but she doesn't finish as a Jew. And, you know, he can say that she's, you know, she can be witnessing things that she shouldn't be as a Jewish woman. But to say about a Jewish girl that is serving the army of your country, that defending your country.
And he's saying that to his students who are about to join the military.
Yeah, but what is the problem about it? Now, politicians, and I won't say names, but politicians.
And we have the Minister of Defense, Mr. Lieberman, on the one hand.
And Naftali Bennett on the other hand.
Naftali Bennett, the Minister of Education, where Lieberman, a leader of a right-wing party, wants to stop the financing of this pre-military college.
Yeah, but that's not fair. That's not fair.
Okay,
because
that's what I wanted to...
Pre-academy, you know...
But just to continue for our viewers to understand, he says, let's stop the financing. And Minister Bennett, the leader of the Zionist religious movement in Israel, says, no way, regardless of what the rabbi said, you should not stop the financing of our institution.
Very important to emphasize that Naftali Bennett is not disagreeing with anything this rabbi said.
Although he didn't say that.
He did. He said he doesn't agree with it, but
not really.
It's not fair that because of the rabbi, who can be a very good rabbi with what he does and the work that he does.
I don't think he can be a good rabbi with this style and this...
Listen, Uri, you and me have different opinions altogether. It doesn't mean we're good people or bad people or doing... I don't think you're a bad person or not,
is a
or not doing
spiritual
your job
leader
good.
And an educator.
Yeah, but in the end of the day...
This style of using these terms and this really
but in the end of the day,
filthy language.
This pre-academy military is a very prestigious academy.
That's
and
true.
We have
I actually spoke there. I spoke there. I met 300 students. Most of them disagreed with me.
By the way, the finest students came out of there to the army.
It was very interesting.
So he's probably doing something good.
He wasn't there. His partner was there. No. Rabbi Sadan, who won the Israel Prize last year, I spoke there for 3 hours, 3 whole hours. And it's a remarkable institution, although we're in big difference of opinion. They respected my opinion. It was a fascinating discussion.
I just want to say that using this, what happened, because I heard Lieberman was personally offended because his daughter was a religious in military, and he was
personally.
Great. Oh, you're VIP today. But I'm just saying that this shouldn't be used, this poor things that this rabbi said shouldn't be used against a very fine academy, and this should be closed, you know, as something that shouldn't have been said.
But shouldn't there be any sanctions against this rabbi who speaks like that?
No, I'll tell you why. Because if he won't say it there, then you'll just get the young kids to go to him and wanting to hear it in a private.
It's not the same.
He can say it in private.
But he gets his salary from the state.
Yeah, but he's a rabbi that is working a very. So our Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has decided to stop and put an end to those fake news that are being, going out against him. And he finally decided, together with his wife, Sarah Netanyahu, decided to sue the reporter of Yediot Aharonot, Yigal Sarna, for blaming him that Sarah, his wife, allegedly threw him out of the car and made him walk because of an anger fee she had, or I don't know what. You know, look.
He posted that on Facebook.
He's posted that on his Facebook. And
not in the paper.
By the way, this is after a long years of Sarna saying horrible things about Benjamin Netanyahu that I can't even repeat because they're too scary to even say, but really horrible names and callings. But you know, the problem is here that, you know, again, I'm all for free speech of media, but where does it stop? We know, and you have to agree with me on that. We know that the media here is the majority of it. It's very left, even radical left.
That I disagree.
Come on, you have to be serious.
That I disagree with.
But in the end of the day, how much lies and spam can you take out on politicians and a prime minister? It's horrible.
Wait up. First of all, I think Sarna should not have posted something on Facebook. He doesn't fully investigate it. And Facebook is very similar to the, regular media.
Yeah, but
Sarna himself has 20,000 followers. That's like a small paper in Israel. And if you post something, you need to investigate it first. And if you don't have the source agreeing to stand behind what he said, then don't post it.
Yeah, but don't you think they have lost it? The liberal left media have lost it in Israel.
No, I don't think so.
They're on a mean, horrible campaign against our prime minister.
I think in that sense, Sarna made a bad service. So we celebrated Purim this week. What was your costume this Purim?
I was a police officer.
That's me and my partner.
Yes, that's you and your partner, MK Tamar Zandberg, and that's me.
That's you as an officer?
Yeah. By the way, a real uniform from a police officer. I look good, but I should...
Hold on, where's my Trump costume? You didn't put it on?
Yeah. Wasn't a good costume, you guys,
by the way. It was very good. Oh, here it is. I'm very proud of it.
Not even close to the original.
I had the orange face and everything, and the hairstyle. I'm very proud of it.
But we did have a great Purim. I think this country needed a bit of a break from what it's going through. And you know, I was very pleased to get all the comments on Facebook. By the way, you guys, thank you for commenting on Twitter and on ILTV Facebook for our show. And
yeah, I think.
By the way, great no commenting pro Uri. Keep on commenting.
No, please,
agreeing with me because
please balance it. My followers balance it. But I think we have to wrap it up for this week. Mai, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hopefully next week will be as optimistic as this one.
Yeah. Have a good week and join us next week on Israeli Frenemies on ILTV. Thank you.